Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another session of Mazungumzo. This is your host, Gilbert Gisharu Gitere, bringing to your homes the program Mazungumzo. We have covered so many topics with you people, and especially with Hegel and Martin Heidegger being on time, and Hegel, the phenomenology of spirit. These are our mouthfuls, so we continue getting deeper into concepts about these two philosophers, and especially Hegel on the issue of acquiring consciousness. We are deep into it, and conscientious, the agreement, the small voice in your heart, which advises you to take care of the other, the really essence of life. And it is the one which helps us to keep things together about our morality and our ethics. And we have reached there, we are discussing the topic of consciousness and self-consciousness, and becoming aware of the self. Now, becoming conscious of the self, that you are not an object, you are a human being, and you have got things to take care of. There is the ability to take care of yourself. There is the ability to take care of your neighbor and to be concerned about their well-being. And this is all topics that we cover. But you know, there are things that happen in a human life, like the becoming aware of the self. There are so many things which come together for you to know yourself. And if you read something like Immanuel Kant, the famous the critique of pure reasoning, you will find that things come together: a perception, notion, intuition, perception, thinking, thought, understanding, awareness, and the self-consciousness itself. These are things which together, there are many things out there in the universe that have to come together so that you can acquire consciousness. And there are forces that allow that to happen. A force itself is actually a very important concept if things are to come together so that a human being can acquire awareness. Gravity and force. Because, for example, the formation of water, hydrogen and oxygen, there has to be a force. There has to be something to hold them together. And today I'm bringing terms which actually play that force. One of them is the word diremption. Diremption is the one which actually separates things, so that if you have a warehouse or you have a store and you have tools, you know where the chisel is, you know where the screws are, you know where the hammer is. So the word diremption is actually which quantifies things, tells us where things are. It separates things in life. A perception. A perception is a variable of diremption. Perception itself, intuition, a notion, having a notion about something. Self-awareness itself, thought, understanding. So the concept of diremption. Then there is Artificer. 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 The concept of Artificer often refers to a creator, a designer, or craftsman who possesses the ability to bring things together, like skill, ingenuity, sometimes mystical or divine knowledge. In many societies, the idea of an artificer is closely tied to cultural understanding of technology, craft, and divine power. In the context of the development of God or gods in society, the artificer can be seen as a metaphorical or literal figure that bridges human creativity with divine legacy or agency. This concept can be explored in both mythological and philosophical dimensions. The artificer. Hegel deals with that word in Phenomenology of Spirit. When he reaches the area where the conscientious, a man becomes aware that there is a bigger force that helps us in this world so that we can enjoy the morning, the sunrise. The sun can rise and it circulates. There is the artificer. But that's a topic for another time. Artificer as a mythological creator. In mythology, the concept of the artificer is often embodied in figures such as Hephaestus, the Greek mythology, Hephaestus, Ptah, P-T-A-H, Egyptian mythology, or Vishvakaman, that is in the Hindu mythology. These figures are divine or semi-divine beings who fashion the cosmos, create weapons for gods, and bring form to chaos. Hephaestus. In Greek mythology, Hephaestus is the god of blacksmiths, craftsmen, and metal workers. He creates objects of immense power, including the armor of Achilles. As artificer, Hephaestus symbolizes the creative force that shapes matter, turning raw materials into functional, beautiful objects. His role in the pantheon emphasizes the importance of skill and craftsmanship in divine attributes. Ptah. In Egyptian mythology, Ptah is often regarded as a creator god, particularly associated with artisans and builders. He creates the world through his word, symbolizing the power of speech and craftsmanship. Ptah's role as a divine artificer highlights how creation is not merely a physical act, but also an intellectual or spiritual process. Vishvakaman. In Hindu mythology, Vishvakaman is a divine architect, the engineer of the universe. He is credited with creating the tools of the gods and the cosmic structures, illustrating the concept of divine order brought forth through skillful design and construction. In these examples, the Artificer stands as the intersection of divine will and human skill, suggesting that creativity, design, and craftsmanship are both human traits and reflection of divine power. The concept of the Artificer helps us explain how ancient societies understood the origins of technological and artistic development, linking human creativity with cosmic or divine principles. Philosophical notions of the divine Artificer. In philosophy, particularly in the context of Western thought, the idea of God as an artificer is present in several traditions. The notion of a divine craftsman appears prominently in works like Plato's Timaeus, where the Demurge, a divine craftsman or artificer, shapes the material world according to a perfect eternal model. This idea presents God not only as a creator but as a rational designer who imparts order to the universe. Plato's Demurge in Timaeus, this is a book by Plato. Plato describes the Demurge as a benevolent creator who forms the world from pre-existing chaotic matter. The Demurge uses the forms, which are perfect and eternal, as models to impose order on the cosmos. This aligns with the idea of the Artificer as someone who imposes structure, form, and beauty upon raw material. The concept reflects the philosophical view that the world is a product of both rational design and purpose. Deism and the watchmaker God. Deism and the watchmaker God. During the Enlightenment, the metaphor of God as a watchmaker became prominent in deist thought. Deists believed that God created the universe with perfect laws, like a watchmaker creating a precise mechanism, but after creation, God no longer intervened in the creation, in the workings of the world. This view emphasizes God's role as an initial designer or artificer, setting up a system that operates according to rational, discoverable laws. The universal laws. In the other lectures, in the subjects we covered about time and being and Hegel's phenomenology of spirit, the universal laws are so important. And you can find also in Martin Heidegger's piece, the universal laws are the primordial. They come first. They were created by the Artificer. They are there. They are actually life. But they are jumbled up. They are a web of thoughts. Actually, that concept is actually attributed to Oman van Quine. The entangled pieces, like, knowledge is like a haystack. You got to go find the needle in a haystack in pieces. And that makes the essence, the essentials of existence, the entities that you require to make self-consciousness a reality. So the haystack is given sense by the Artificer. The haystack we talk about, the web. Oman Van Quine discusses the network of ideas, consciousness out there that we go in and decipher and extract knowledge from it bit by bit. It's a huge concept. And that's why the word Artificer I am discussing here and Diremption, they are so important. They are the miracle that makes things work until we receive the self-consciousness, who we are. Without them, life will make no meaning, will make no sense. Artificer and intelligent design. In contemporary discussion of theology and science, the idea of the Artificer is sometimes invoked in debates about intelligent design. Proponents of intelligent design argue that certain features of the universe and living beings are so complex that they must have been designed by a higher intelligence, much like an artificer designs a machine or artifact. This modern usage connects the concept of the artificer on ongoing discussions about science, religion, and the origins of life. Development of God in society through the lens of the Artificer. So you can see this strong concept, unique concept, the Artificer, is brought out by Hegel in his discussion. It is an Artificer is like an artist. It's actually the spirit of life. The development of the concept of God in the society has been deeply influenced by the metaphor of the Artificer. Early religious beliefs often attributed natural phenomena to the work of gods or divine forces. And as human societies developed, so too did the understanding of divine creation. The evolution of technology and craftsmanship in human cultures parallels the way the divinity was understood to work in the world. Over time, the Artificer metaphor allowed for a more intellectualized, less anthropomorphic vision of the divine. If you have followed the discussions I've heard about phenomena of phenomenology of spirit by Hegel, or being and time by Martin Heidegger, you will see the forces or the use of Artificer and the Diremption. These two forces, they're like forces. And they even praise the role force plays in life. Without gravity or force, most of the things in the world will not work. There has to be force in everything. Even in dialogue to make language, putting together words, the predicate, the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives and everything, there has to be a force to bring words together. Artificer and Diremption are actually key in how language works. From animism to organized religion, worshipping of figures, worshipping of the sun, then coming to a deity, one God. It's all of a concept of studying the Artificer and Diremption. From animism to organized religion, in early animistic cultures, God spirits were seen as inhabiting natural objects like rocks, trees, animals. As human societies developed, especially with the rise of agriculture and urbanization, the gods became more complex, and the notion of a single or supreme God as a creator, Artificer, took shape. This reflects the shift from seeing the divine as an immanent in nature to understanding God as a transcendent being who shapes the world from outside it. Monotheism, the ultimate Artificer. In monotheistic tradition like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, God is often described as the ultimate creator whose will and wisdom brought the universe into being. The Bible's account of creation in Genesis presents God as an Artificer who creates the world in a deliberate, ordered process, shaping light, land, and living beings. Similarly, in the Quran, Allah is described as a creator who made the heavens and the earth with a purpose and order. These monotheistic visions of God as an Artificer emphasize the divine omnipotence and omniscience, linking the creation of the world with moral and spiritual order. Modern interpretations. In the modern times, the metaphor of the Artificer has influenced how people think about the relationship between humanity and technology, as well as the nature of creativity. As humans develop increasing sophisticated technologies, including artificial intelligence, the role of the human Artificer mirrors divine creation in new ways. Philosophers and theologians debate whether human creativity reflects divine creativity or whether human technological prowess challenges traditional notions of a divine Artificer. That's a story for another time, when religion faces sciences, but they complement one another very well. Very well. The issue of chance, which Jacques Monod, that human beings are creatures of chance. We developed from tiny creatures of the ocean and evolved. That's a big controversial issue. Let me not go into it, but I'm just touching it on the surface, but it becomes very hard. Where did we come from? Jacques Monod, we are creatures of chance. So chance there is where religion, spirituality comes in. And Diremption also borrows from that chance, the issue of chance, and innovations. Presence, future, past, especially presence, in discovering entities. You remember we went into that. there can be no entities without the issue of being present. Now. Because the now is the one that brings questions. It triggers our minds, and there we are. We become creative without the present. And these are issues, I'm discussing them because how is artificial intelligence going to address these concepts? We are constantly experiencing. And that experience that we are experiencing all the time creates past, present, and future. At that present moment, the minute ticks. Tack, tack. The one which has passed is past. The one which is coming is the future. We are living immediately the future, and we are living the past as we sense the now. And that experience is so important because we are actually deciphering things in our minds. And that's how we become innovative. That's how we discover. That's how we have eureka, the wow time. It's all in that Artificer and Diremptions. But let me not go into that so much. Let me just conclude this piece. Because this one I have borrowed from many sources. I've borrowed even from artificial intelligence itself, what I'm reading right now. I have borrowed from artificial intelligence so I can go deeper. So we are working together. This is how we will work together. Artificial intelligence and humans will work together to go to higher levels and stop dealing with petty things. Because human beings, when we entertain peace and love, we will go to great heights. We will discover many things. But that's a subject for another time, and it can be controversial. Because for peace to come, there has to be problems, So they have to have their place. Disagreements have got to have their place. Excuse me. Conclusion. The concept, the Artificer, as both a human creator and a divine figure, has shaped how societies understand technology, craftsmanship, and the nature of God, whether through mythology, figures who craft the cosmos, philosophical ideas of a rational creator, and modern debates about intelligent design. The Artificer serves as a powerful metaphor for the interplay between human creativity and divine agency. The development of God in society, viewed through the lens, reflects the evolving relationship between human skill, divine power, and the structure of the universe. Now, let me just just in brief, touch on the concept of diremption and Artificer, when applied to human awareness, delve into profound philosophical, metaphysical themes. They engage with the dynamics of separation and unification in consciousness, creativity, and self-awareness. Let us There's a telephone coming, but I will just let it ring. Let's just let it ring, and then I'm going to continue with what I'm covering. Because just bear with me. Let's just return to that ringing. And when it goes down, I'm going to continue with covering Diremption and Artificer. It's a very important thing. Okay, it's gone away. Thank you. As I was saying, Let us break down the responsibilities and duties of these two concepts, diremption and artificer, in relation to human awareness. Diremption, responsibility and duties of human awareness. Diremption originates from philosophical discourse, particularly in Hegelian philosophy, where it refers to the process of division, separation, or the splitting of a unified whole into distinct parts. In the context of human awareness, diremption plays a crucial role in how humans perceive the human world, their selves, and the relationship between subject, the self, and the object, the external world. Diremption refers to the process by which a unified state of awareness, such as undifferentiated consciousness, becomes divided or fragmented, leading to self-awareness, duality, and differentiation. You can see how important. That's why even that telephone will not stop me. Diremption is what makes us what we are. And in artificial intelligence, what is going to become diremption? What is going to take the role of diremption? It seems as if the issue of artificial intelligence, to borrow from human self-awareness, the diremption and artificer have to be there, inbuilt, self-made in the computer world, in the artificial intelligence world. First, there is a diremption in human consciousness. The first responsibility of diremption in human awareness is the introduction of distinction. Human consciousness often experiences the world through a process of separation, of the self from the world, of the thought from the feeling, and of the subject from the object. This separation allows for self-consciousness to emerge. Without the initial act of diremption, humans would remain in a state of undifferentiated existence, unable to perceive themselves as distinct entities. I will stop there now, just a little bit, because we have seen how important diremption and artificers are. And because this is a continuation of our discussion, I'm going to bring it in total to you. But those are two words I want everyone who listens, might be we have shared with, to kind of decipher those two words, diremption and artificer. You can see how important they are. And this subject I've been trying to see whether, if you look at Hegel and you look at Martin Heidegger and where artificial intelligence is headed, what is the hope of artificial intelligence catching up with us? I can see the chances are there, but it is a steep hill to climb. Until we meet again, this is your host, Gilbert Gisharu Gidea, saying ciao ciao.